Welcome back all of you. Welcome to our class of Environmental Sciences. In today's class of Environmental Science, we shall be discussing about a very important ecosystem, which is forest ecosystem. So, in this class, we will be discussing in detail, that is introduction, the function of the ecosystem, structure of the ecosystem and characteristic features of this ecosystem, namely forest ecosystem. So, now starting our class, what is the forest ecosystem? What do we mean by forest ecosystem? What are the types of forest ecosystem? What are the components of forest ecosystem? These are the 4-5 highlighting questions we shall be discussing in our class today. A forest is an area with a high density of trees and undisturbed areas. Agreed all of you? A forest has very high density of trees or vegetation which is left thankfully undisturbed. Now, it receives high annual rainfall. We can observe wide varieties of plants and animals, that is flora and fauna. World's total land area is around 13.076 million hectares, out of which the total forest accounts for 31% of the world's land area. In India, the forest cover is roughly 11% of the total land area, which is really less. The forest ecosystem are of great concern from the environmental point of view. Why is this? We will understand by the end of today's class. So, first let us learn what are the types of forest ecosystem. Number 1, temperate forest ecosystem. The first type of forest ecosystem which can be explained is temperate forest ecosystem. The temperate forest ecosystem is very important for Earth. They are in regions where climate changes a lot from summer to winter. Okay. So, difference in temperature can be observed in this temperate forest ecosystems. Tropical rainforests are in region where the climate stays constant all year long. Temperate forests are always made up of two types of trees: deciduous trees, they are trees that loses their leaves in the winter, and evergreen trees. So, temperate forest ecosystem consists of two types of trees: deciduous trees which keeps losing its leaf upon change of climate, that is in summer and winter. In winter it loses its leaf and gets it back by spring or summer. Whereas evergreen trees, they are the trees which are green all year long. Forest can either be one of the other or combination of both, that is it could be consisting of deciduous trees and evergreen trees, or it could consist of evergreen or deciduous trees. Next, a fourth kind of forest is a temperate rainforest. These forests are made up of redwoods, sequoia trees, which are the tallest trees in the world. The amount of rainfall in an area determines if a forest is present in which region. The tropical rainforest ecosystem. The tropical rainforests are one of the most important areas on Earth. These special ecosystems are homes to thousands of species of animals and plants. Contrary to the popular belief, rainforests are not only densely packed with plants, they are also full of tall trees that forms a ceiling from the sun. This ceiling keeps the smaller plants which are laying in the bottom area of the earth from growing. Areas where sunlight can reach the surface are full of interesting plants. They are so named, these tropical rainforests are named so because they receive a lot of rain all through the year, an average of 80 inches per year of rain. The temperature in tropical rainforests does not change very much during the year. It is always warm and moist or muggy. The famous Amazon jungle is located in Brazil in South America. This particular forest is called the Neotropics. Okay, the Amazon forest, which is located in the Brazil, is known as the Neotropics. Other large blocks of these tropical rainforests are located in the Central Africa and West African regions. Now, we have discussed about the flora of the tropical rainforest. Now, let us have a glance into the fauna of the tropical rainforests. The most feared and well known spider in the world resides in these jungles. Okay, so spiders are found in these tropical rainforests, mainly tarantulas. Although some of these animals are life threatening to humans, most of these animals are harmless. Army ants are just one species of an ant in the rainforest. They are called army ants because they march in long, thick line through the jungle. They only stop when the young larvae reach the pupal stage. Once the queen lays its egg, the ants start marching. Okay, they are extremely predatory. These ants are extremely predatory. Apart from these creepy animals, the tropical rainforest contains a large number of fauna. Hence, it is essential to conserve these forests. We just had a look into the insects found in the tropical rainforest. Now, let us have a look into the birds which are found here. The birds of the rainforest are the most beautiful in the world. A wide range of colors can be seen darting through the trees as the forest tops comes to life. Many species of tropical birds are also petted around the world. The mammals which are found in the tropical rainforests can be listed as follows. Birds aren't the only creatures that fly through the rainforest. Several species of flying animals are also seen in these tropical rainforests. The harmless fruit bats are unique to the flying animal squad. Apart from these bats, fruit bats, we can find flying squirrels also in the tropical rainforests. So, these are the creatures which are found in the tropical rainforests. Next, reptiles found in the tropical rainforests. The tropical rainforests are again filled with reptiles. Reptiles are cold-blooded animals, which means that the body temperature of these animals depend on their environment. Okay, so what are the cold-blooded animals? Their body temperature cannot be governed by their own. Okay, they depend upon the environmental temperature. So, it is important for such animals to stay in warm climate. Snakes are reptiles and the rainforests are home to many such snakes, poisonous and non-poisonous. The mamba family, the black mamba, is the most poisonous of all. They kill their prey by just injecting the poison with their sharp fangs. Okay. So, these are just a few reptiles. There are numerous organisms living. We have just tried to brief a few of them. Other animals which could be found here is tropical rainforest primates. Monkeys and their cousins are all primates. Humans are also primates. There are many species of monkeys in the tropical rainforests of the world. Monkeys can be divided into two groups, New World monkeys and Old World monkeys. The New World ones live only in South and Central America, whereas the Old World monkeys live in the rainforest in the Andes mountains. After temperate forest, we have discussed about tropical rainforest. We have seen the various flora and fauna in the tropical and temperate rainforests. Now, let us have a look into taiga forests. What are these taiga forests? What is meant by taiga forest? The boreal forest ecosystem is the contiguous green belt of conifer and deciduous trees that encircle the large portion of the northern hemisphere. Okay. So, this taiga forest, also known as boreal forests, they are a continuous green belt that are mainly made up of deciduous trees and coniferous trees. Now, what are the deciduous trees? As we had just discussed about it, deciduous trees are the ones that shed their leaves, which have two phases, one in which they are green, the other in which they have shed their leaves. In winter, the deciduous trees tend to lose their leaves, and by the time of spring or summer, they grow back their leaves. So, the taiga forest is made up of a combination of both coniferous trees and deciduous trees. In North America, the boreal forest or the taiga forest stretches across most of northern Canada and Alaska. Okay, so, in the North American belt, this taiga forest stretches across most of the northern Canada and into Alaska. So, taiga forest makes a part of Canada and Alaska. This forest, it has long been identified as one of the world's greatest forest ecosystems. The forest ecosystem roughly covers 35% of Canada's land. Okay, so taiga forests make up 35% of Canada's land mass and is the single largest land based ecosystem in the North America. It is the largest land based ecosystem in the North American contingent. It also contains a significant portion of Canada's biodiversity. Okay, so the biodiversity of Canada is mainly contained in this taiga forest region. It has been recognized as an important carbon sink. Okay, so this has been recognized as a very important carbon sink. Apart from this, the forest ecosystem or the taiga forest ecosystem houses the largest and the smallest animal species known to us, namely wood bison or the largest species and pygmy shrews are the smallest species of the North America continent. The boreal forest has many things like great lakes, northern rivers, vast bogs, fens and other organic wetlands. The rich wildlife diversity of the taiga is a joy to behold. The woodland caribou and the lynx, whooping cranes and wood bison, northern owls, woodpeckers with 3 rather than 4 toes, colorful wood warblers are the few fauna to name. Apart from this, a large number of fauna are identified in this ecosystem. The boreal has more than 5,000 species of conspicuous and colorful fungi, celebrated far more in Scandinavia and Siberia than in North America. Then there are the precious old growth forests, the richest and the most biologically diverse of the boreal forest communities that are essential for the boreal species. So, now we had just discussed about the 3 major forest systems found across the world. What are they? Temperate forest, tropical rainforest, boreal forests or the taiga forests. Apart from this, now let us see what are the forests which are found in India. Okay, what are the different types of forests found in Indian subcontinent? The forest types depends upon the abiotic factors such as climate and soil characteristics of a region. Okay, so a forest type in any subcontinent depends upon abiotic factors like climate and soil characteristics. Forest in India can be broadly divided into number 1, coniferous forests, broad leaved forests. They can also be classified according to the nature of the tree species. Depending upon the flora species, forests in India can also be given another form of classification. What is it? Evergreen forest, deciduous forest, xerophytic, thorn trees and mangrove forests. Okay, so depending upon the type of plant species or depending upon the type of flora, the forest in India can be divided or can be classified as follows: evergreen forests, deciduous forests, xerophytic, thorn trees and mangrove forests. Okay. Now we shall look into each of these one by one. Coniferous forests grows in the Himalayan mountain region. Coniferous forests grows in the Himalayan mountain region where the temperatures are definitely low. These forests have tall, stately trees with needle-like leaves and downward sloping branches so that the snow can easily slip down from these cones. Okay. So, this is the reason why coniferous trees have downward facing branches. These forests have tall trees that have needle-like leaves which are sloping downwards. The broad-leaved forests have several types such as evergreen forest, deciduous forest, thorn forest and mangrove forests. To name a few of the trees which are found in this forest type is, or to name a few of the coniferous forest trees, we have spruce, pine, fir tree, larch tree, cedar trees and hemlock trees. So, these are the few trees which can be named or which can be found as part of coniferous forests. Next we have evergreen forests. Evergreen forests grows in the high rainfall areas of the Western Ghats, northeastern India and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay. So, these forest types are found in the Western Ghats, in the northeastern India and the Andaman Nicobar Islands. They make the flora of the following areas. These forests grows in area where the monsoon lasts for several months. Okay. So, these forests are found in the areas where monsoon has a longer tenure. It lasts for several months. Some even get 2 monsoons, such as in southern parts of India. 2 monsoons can be seen. Evergreen plants shed only a few leaves throughout the year. These plants, as you can see, these evergreen forests are extremely green throughout the year because first of all they receive heavy rainfall, sometimes even 2 monsoons, and these forests tend to lose very little leaves throughout the year, unlike the deciduous forests. As we took the name, the next kind of forest is deciduous forests. They are found in regions with a moderate amount of seasonal rainfall. Okay. So, deciduous forests are those which do not need much of a rainfall. So, those areas of the Indian subcontinent which receives very little amount of rainfall, those areas can house these kinds of plants or trees, that is they make up the deciduous forests. So, they are found in regions with a moderate amount of seasonal rainfall that lasts for only a few months. Most of the forests here are teak. Most of the trees which are found here are teak trees. They grow in such kinds of area. The deciduous trees shed their leaves during the winter and hot summer. Okay. So, the deciduous trees are the one that tend to lose their leaves in extreme winters. When the temperature is very low, these trees tend to lose their leaves, and in extreme summer, when the temperature is very high, they again tend to lose their leaves, which they gain back during monsoon. Similarly, the lost leaves in winter is gained back in the month of spring. In March or April, that is spring, they regain back their fresh leaves. Just before the monsoon, when they grow vigorously in response to the rain, they again grow back their leaves. Okay. So, what are the deciduous forests? The deciduous forests are the one which tend to lose their leaves almost twice in a year, depending upon the temperature of the environment. As we can see here, there is sparse amount of greenery throughout. Okay. So, this is all about the deciduous forests. Next, moving on further, the next type of forest in India is thorn forest. This is found in the semi-arid regions in India. Thorn forests are found in semi-arid region. The trees are sparsely distributed. The number of trees present in such region are extremely less. They are sparsely distributed. They are surrounded by open grassy areas. As you can see with the help of this picture, the trees are sparsely located. They are located far from each other. They are surrounded by grass. They are mainly surrounded by grass. Okay. So, they are found in the semi-arid regions of India. These trees are sparsely or minimally distributed and are surrounded by open grassy areas. The leaves of such trees are thorny, stiff, sharp, or may we say woody in projection. They are mainly found on the stem or other part of a plant. Okay. So, the leaves are less greener, they require less amount of water, they are sharp and thorny, sometimes even attached directly to the stem. These plants are called xerophytic species and are able to conserve water. Okay. So, thorn forests are mainly made up of xerophytes. They are made up of xerophytes. They require very less amount of water for their regular metabolism and survival. Some of these trees have small leaves, while other species have thick, waxy leaves. Smaller leaves and thick, waxy leaves is the process of evolution. These plants have evolved according to the need of the climate of this area, which is mostly dry. So, in order to survive the dry climates of such arid or semi-arid areas, the leaves of thorn forests are generally very small, they are thorny or they are thick and waxy, so that they could conserve more amount of water. Thorn forest trees have long or fibrous roots. Okay. So, the roots of a thorn forest are generally long and fibrous, so that they can reach into larger depths to reach the water. Okay. Many of these plants have thorns which reduce water loss through perspiration, through transpiration, which reduces water loss and protects them from herbivore. Okay. So, the grazing animals would not be able to graze on these already scarcely presented leaves. Hence, these plants have evolved by growing thorns, such that first of all less water is lost and to protect these trees. Next, we have mangrove trees. They grow along the coast, especially in the river deltas. These plants are able to grow in a mix of saline and fresh water. They grow luxuriantly in muddy areas covered with silt that have rivers brought down the mangrove trees, having breathing roots that emerge from the mud banks. As you can see, these are breathing roots. So, the forest ecosystem consists of biotic components, namely producers and consumers. These are the biotic components. Producers are the plants, flora, and consumers are the animals. In a forest, consumers are of three main types: primary consumers, secondary consumers and tertiary consumers. Next we have decomposers. The leaves, old branches that falls on the forest floor are decomposed by these organisms. They are the decomposers. They mainly include a variety of saprotrophic microorganisms like bacteria and fungi. The abiotic components include air, water, soil, light, mineral, temperature, etc. The threats to the forest ecosystem are overutilization of forest resources due to rapid population growth, loss of forest due to mining, exploitation of the forest resources, and the plants and animals being extinct. So, due to this we are losing our ecosystem, which we need to avoid. Ecosystem degradation has to be avoided. This we can do by conserving our forest ecosystem. So, with this we end our today's class. Thank you.